come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today. Make me wonder who you might have been playing with. Makes me wonder who you think.
Good afternoon, cyber friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Wellness Challenge. This is our last week, and I would love to be like, we're starting off on a good note. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna front. We are absolutely not. Today is Sunday, supposed to be my reset day. Get cleaning done, do my meal prep, just get myself together going for the week. And not to say that I'm not going to, or I haven't started to quite yet. It's just so hard to do when you're not in the best mental space. And right now, I am not. I am very much filled with rage right now. So much rage. And if I was to look at the wheel, let's see, the inner one is anger, the next tier over is hurt, and I would say I'm in between furious, devastated, enraged. So I'm not trying to start off the episode in so much turmoil in my emotions. You know, I usually save my emotions for y'all at the end of the episode, but I'm not into it being fake. I'm not into pretending, especially when it comes to my emotions. So I am in a new location. One of the things that helps me when I am not in the best mental space is being out and about, getting fresh air. So one of the spots that I come to feel better, to feel peace, whether I'm in a good mood or bad mood, when the weather permits, I like to come to this lake that's not too far from where I live and just get to be in nature, walk, move my body. So I'm hoping that I can feel better. Now, I am starting my day pretty late. It is like 5 something. I did do some cleaning before I left the house. I was tired of just sitting, moping around, being mad and feeling all the feels. I tried to sleep. It wasn't happening. So this is my last resort, my last attempt at a coping mechanism, as you will. So hopefully when I come back, we'll be in better spirits. I still need to cook. So I'm happy that I did get the cleaning out the way so I can go straight into cooking. And this will serve as my activity, as my movement for the day, so I don't have to worry about trying to force and fit the gym in. But let's see what we can do. All right, y'all, we are back at our new favorite little location for our new hobby. You guessed it. I'm back to the area class. And again, it was Valentine's Day this day. So this is my little solo date to myself. So I got my little makeup on, came to class a little cuter than usual, just to brighten myself up for the day. So I will say I was low-key not nervous for this second class, but I just didn't want it to be in a space where I didn't learn anything new. And boy, was she teaching us some new stuff. Like, yes, we were doing the basics, like stretching our body and stuff like that, but she was definitely giving out new moves. And I feel like the first class, I handled the new moves a little more gracefully. On this second class, I don't know, it felt a little harder. Like, ain't I supposed to be getting better at this? It did absolutely feel a little harder. So my moves wasn't all the way graceful for this second class. But again, I've been enjoying it. I plan to keep on coming. I think I want to come like maybe twice a month, you know. Just dip my feet in, get my toes a little wet. But I definitely did way more spinning this go round. Like I was in control of the spinning a little bit more versus the last time. But definitely need to work on my fluidness. The class is called Flex and Flow, and I ain't flowing that well, and my flex is just a little off. But flipping myself upside down, I could do that part. I could do that part real bad. And I'll also say with this class that I didn't eat before I came, and I hadn't eaten all day, and you definitely get dizzy doing some of these things, doing some of these moves, and I was definitely starting to feel the consequences of my action. Make sure you eat, make sure you're drinking your water throughout the class. I definitely was taking my breaks, drinking some water and things of that nature to help me feel better. And she says when you are dizzy, to like get up and start shaking yourself off, jumping up and down. That kind of helps with the dizziness too. But I think she is such a good instructor. She's so kind, she's so sweet, she's very informative, she's very encouraging. Like, I definitely enjoy her energy, her aura. She's so peaceful. And I love how she'll sit there and walk you through what you're doing. Like, this is a new move that we didn't do the last time. And she tries to tell you to, condition yourself to learn how to do certain things on both sides. And so definitely sometimes I struggle on one side more than the other. And then in this class, there were several girls in there who had been taking her class, and then there were me and some others who are definitely beginners, and there were some first timers in there. So it was a little mix, a little array of people. And she teaches at multiple studios, is what she says. And then she also takes classes herself, but she's been doing this for about 2 years, she says. So, if you're into stuff like this, or if you live in the area, you should definitely go check her out. If you have me on TikTok, I've reposted some of her stuff before, so definitely go look for her. But this is the end of the class. She just kind of lets you do whatever you want with your last little bit of time. And this is where I really got the spinning. And this is where I feel like I'm the most into my flex and flow moments, honey. Like, she be having a cute little sensual music on, and you just get to doing stuff. And at this point, I started contemplating my life because I was trying to remember some of the moves that I had learned in the other class, but it was like spinning upside down on a string, trying to remember what you have learned from previous classes. Like, it wasn't giving what I thought it was giving. So at one point, I just kept twirling because I didn't know where to go or what to do next because I forgot. And then trying to figure out what foot goes where when you're just spinning around. It can get a little confusing, but we gonna keep going back. We gonna get good at this, I promise. Like I said, this week I plan on being very disciplined for this last week. I do want to eat everything that is on the meal plan and not deviate from it and do my own thing. So the best way I can set myself up for success is if I just go ahead and get all the food cooked, which is basically just having the proteins cooked and having the vegetables cooked. Now I do have some side salads that go with the meals, and I do have some sides that I already have previously cooked. So I'll definitely be showing y'all how I'm plating things whenever I am getting ready to eat. But yeah, I am trying to stick to it this week. I really do. I think there's 5 meals on the plan for the day, but that's a lot of food to intake. And just again, as someone who barely be eating one meal, and I'm really more of a snacker, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge to me, but I'm ready and I'm excited to do so because I do want to see some changes. And the gym, I'm knocking it out in the gym. I'm killing it in the gym. The only thing I have left to do is get my eating together. And I feel like that's the little last piece of the puzzle. So I definitely want to end off my week doing what I came to do. Like, I want that body by this summer. I want to be the finest thing walking to myself during this summer. So why not put in the work again? I'm back motivated. Like I've definitely been 10 times more motivated in the gym. Like I'm telling you, I've been leaving the gym and almost burning 1,000 calories. I'd be like, where did all this burst of energy come from? Like, I don't know. I'm just super proud of myself. So the eating is that last thing I need to conquer. So pray for me as I fight my sugar addiction. Pray for me as, I get my eating habits on target. Pray for me as I'm trying to eat on time. Pray for me as I am trying to eat the correct amount at the correct times. Like it's definitely gonna be some trial and error, but again, I just want to set myself up for success as much as I can because it definitely takes a toll trying to cook throughout the week. And that's the part that gets me. Now the breakfast, I can cook that throughout the week because it's real short, simple. But sitting here and have to chopping everything up and boiling things and baking things and seasoning, like that's a lot to be doing in the middle of the week, especially again after I'm done doing what I'm doing for the day, as far as everything on my list, as far as recording and vlogging and whatever the case may be. Baby, I'm tired by the end of the day. When I say I'm ready to go lay down, baby, I am ready to go lay down. So imagine adding extra steps like cooking in the midst of the day. I don't want to do that. So it's best that I do my meal on the weekend and I stay consistent with that. So day one, I'm starting myself off. I'm going to be eating completely healthy, clean, and to the T. And Miss Tony ain't gonna be able to call me no big bag here soon if her plan do what she say her plan will do, okay? Alright, cyber friends, welcome back. We're back and I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm in better spirits now that I was able to go outside and complete my day and work off some of that frustration. We are going to take it back to a shadow work prompt. And the question that I am going to choose is, what qualities do I admire or envy in others? And how might those live in me too? So I'm going to use two of my best friends, for example. So, my first best friend, Jasmine, I met her in college. And so I wouldn't say we didn't get along, but she didn't like me when we first met. We met at our work study job, and she felt like I was lazy and didn't want to do my job, when in reality, I just had very high anxiety and it scared me to do certain parts of the job until I got comfortable. And then after I learned how to do my job completely and I stopped being so scary, we were able to start getting along and hanging out or whatever the case may be. And I remember the first moment I knew we were going to be friends. Not going to lie, the job that I had on campus, it got me all my booze. Like somebody fine would come in there and I would leave with a number. Like, I don't know, it would just work out that way. But I remember there was this is, and I want to preference this by saying this is when I was still a straight woman too, because I didn't start dating women till my sophomore year of college, like towards the end, and this was the beginning of my sophomore year of college. So there was this boy, he came in there and she was helping him at work. He wasn't the person that I was helping, but he just kept looking at me, kept talking to me, whatever the case may be. And he was a decent looking young man, but I don't know, maybe he was just trying too hard or whatever the case may be, to where I was just like, But then again, I do like to be chased. I'm not gonna lie on that front. So at the moment, I just wasn't interested. And so he had asked what my name was, and I had told him I don't have a name. And then he looked at Jazz and he was like, "Man, what's her name?" And she looked that boy dead in his face and she said, "I don't know." And she got up and she walked away. And from that day, I was like, "Ooh, that's my friend. What, a friend that's gonna lie for me, hold it down with me? Yeah, we're friends." So that was the thing that kind of like pulled us together, where I was just like, cool. So one of the things that I envy about Jasmine is her ability to say no in a very straight up, matter of fact way. I don't think I've ever really been able to say no. And in various places in life to various people for various reasons. Even when I wanted to be a no. Am I getting better at it in life? Yeah. But there are still times when I struggle with just simply saying no and letting that be it. But I found that really interesting about her, or when I first noticed that with her, I would ask her to do stuff outside of work. And if she was busy or she didn't want to do it, I'd be like, "Hey, Jazz, you want to go with me to the so and so on campus?" She'd be like, "No." I'd be like, "Dang!" Like, at first, my feelings would get kind of hurt, but then like I would get over it quickly. But I remember one time I was in my feelings, and she had said no to something I asked, did she want to do with me? And when she said no, I was like, "Dang, like you didn't even think about it. You don't want to say maybe or whatever the case may be." And she was just like, "Why would I say maybe when I know I don't want to do it?" And that clicked in my brain, like, you are right. Why wouldn't I just say no to things when I just really don't want to do it? She was always real and straight up in that manner. And it wasn't just me that she was doing it to. Like, she was doing this to everybody. She still does it to this day. 8, 9 years later, I'm sure she was doing it before she met me, and I'm sure she'll continue to do it if there's an after me or whatever the case may be. But I've always been envious of that. Like, here's one of the ways that it's getting better in me. So when it comes to like dating or getting to know people, like, I don't know, I used to feel very obligated to do things for people and with people. Like, if somebody that I was not interested in asked me enough for my number or something, I would give it to them, knowing that I didn't want to talk to them or knowing that I didn't want to give them access to me. Like, I felt obligated. Well, since they asked, I have to give them my number. And I don't feel like super obligated. Like, it makes me highly uncomfortable. I'm sorry. If I do not know you, if we haven't had no real conversations with each other, it makes me highly uncomfortable when people ask me for my number or when they just straight up give me their number. Like, I enjoy when people allow me the time and the space to get to know them as a person. Like, if we meet on social media and we're messaging back and forth or whatever the case may be, like, you didn't even give me a chance to find out if you slow, if you mean, if you crazy. Like, give me a chance to like get familiar with you before I straight up am giving you full access to me in my life. So when I was on the younger side, I felt obligated to do so. I felt like, well, they asked, so I got to, almost like a peer pressure kind of thing. Again, knowing that I really didn't want to talk to them or really didn't want them having my number or whatever the case may be. So now, like, I'll tell people, like, if somebody attempts to like try to talk to me or whatever the case may be, and they only was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And before we even get into a real conversation, "Hey, here's my number. Hit me up when you want to." I will immediately say, Yeah, I don't really give strangers my number like that. Not until I feel comfortable with them, no offense, or whatever the case may be. And some people would be like, oh, well, we can keep talking on here. And some people would be like, all right, have a good one. It's your right on how you want to move, however you want to move. Or if somebody just immediately sends me their number, I just never respond at all. So I'm getting better at it. But again, there's still times and areas in my life where I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do that. But I don't want to be mean and just be like, no, no thanks, or whatever the case may be. And if I say no, I always feel like I have to give a real reason or an excuse when no should be the end all be all. Like if somebody asked me to do something, I'll be like, no, I actually got plans that day. When in reality, I have zero plans. Me sitting on the couch is the plans. I just didn't want to do whatever the request was. I should be able to just feel comfortable saying no without having to explain myself, without feeling guilty, without feeling bad. But I'm definitely still working on that. But Jasmine definitely inspires me. And then the next quality I would pick would be from my other best friend, Deshelle. There's actually different qualities that I would pick from her. Now I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with. I would say her socialness, her social skills, her extrovertedness. I'm always envious of people that are extroverts. Me as an introvert, too many people, too many energies, too much just overwhelms the mess out of me. And not to say that I can't handle my own or thrive when I'm thrust into extroverted activities and outings. I can for the most part. Like, I know how to be cordial and speak when spoken to and hold a conversation or whatever the case may be if I need to. But it's awkward for me the whole time. It feels uncomfortable the whole time. Like, I just be ready for it to stop, even though I'm pretty decent at it. And so with Deshelle, like she can thrive in any environment. Like when we be at work, it is always somebody coming up and talking to her, and she's having full on conversations with them. And every time I turn around, she got a new little work friend that she's making at work. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl is so social. And how I see that moving in my life, I feel like, I don't know, now that I'm getting older and I guess more comfortable with myself, I am becoming more social. Like I would say within the last 6, 7 years, I have been the most social I have ever been in my life. I'm like, why did I wait till my late 20s, early 30s to like really move around and make friends and try new things and have new experiences? Like, you know how with kids being on their younger side and still like learning themselves in life, like they're fearless. I was not like that as a kid. I was afraid of everything. So it's like now that I'm kind of getting older, I'm kind of embracing that fearless side in a way. And don't get me wrong, I still have my anxiety and I still get overwhelmed and uncomfortable and things of that nature, but I'm more willing to go out and try things. In my younger years in college, like it took all my strength and energy to go to one event during the semester, whatever the case may be. And I'm still working through it again. I still have my little panic attacks, my anxiety attacks, and I gotta sit in a corner till I calm down and chill out. Everything that I do when it comes to stuff like that, in that nature, it is all an internal process. So there's never a time where you can tell that I am panicking, but on the inside, I am panicking and screaming for my life. So my best friends definitely have a different way of life, which is to be expected. We're different people. And there's definitely things that I would definitely love to take from them and learn from them and move on going forward. So Again, still a work in progress, still trying to find who I am and all the things that make me happy and the thing that I'm super good at and the thing that makes life worth living. And I'm determined to find that. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, we're going to call it a night. And I hope to see you on another session. Have a good one.